Hi there. This is Mo2. We're two coaches, both named Maureen, who offer you tips on life choices. And today we're speaking about what we'd like to do in 2023 and what we'd like to create. And so over to you, Mo.
Well, that just is something just popped into me, and my intention for this year is to live with more truthfulness, and that is sometimes really uncomfortable, and it's about me being open to seeing things from other people's perspectives and as well as my own, and having room for some back and forth. So generosity is important there, as well as I heard this term at a retreat I was at on the weekend of imbued with loving kindness. So when it's framed with the generosity to live from a place of truthfulness, imbued with loving kindness, it just allows for something uncomfortable to happen, and it's held. And
So having space for the discomfort and just sitting through it rather than trying to shy away from it or avoid it completely.
And it also means how do I actually stay open enough to learn from other people?
So that, to me, what popped into my head was the concept of not necessarily assuming that I know best for them, or that I'm right, or that they're wrong, and so it's about suspending judgment and giving space to being perhaps curious about what it is that they're latching on to in whatever it is that they're believing or wanting to experience themselves.
Yes, and that curiosity is really a key element, to come from a place of curiosity. And it's nurturing that part of ourselves that is, I like to think of it as naturally curious, because when I think back to my work as an early childhood educator and the curiosity that the children had, and how that gets stifled over time. And
Yeah,
so,
kind of.
go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking of how the curiosity in kids is often replaced by conforming, and how there's a tendency to want kids to be like this or like that. Oftentimes it's the schools and other activities are trying to get everybody to be kind of similar, rather than being who they really are and accepting who they really are, and then using whatever strengths they've got.
Yes, and it makes me think of my own role in this as a parent, to teach my child how to get along in this society so that they're not made fun of, put down, punished. So it's an area that is, I believe it's so important, and it's going to take time to dismantle the systems we have in place, if that's going to really happen.
Well, dismantle them and maybe replace them with something different, or to shift them so that they are more conducive to helping all these gifted kids be gifted, as opposed to be conforming.
Yes. And what we're doing then is looking for the different gifts in each person.
Yeah, so if we bring our conversation back to like who we might be wanting to help at this point, in a sense, what I'm hearing you say is we'd really like to help people identify their gifts and use them as best as they can in whatever context they've got, and to actually look at what they have as gifts rather than as some annoying thing that they've got that they'd like to amputate.
Yes. And thank you for that. I love that, coming back to, yeah, that's who we want to support, is helping you find your gifts and to really put them into action and cherish them.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing for our listeners to put into practice for themselves right now.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Identify whatever you view as an aberration, shift it into a gift and use it to um, to help you do whatever you view it as good. And so the concept of really just looking at what you've got as gifts and practicing looking at them as gifts rather than as liabilities.
Yeah, thank you. And so there's also adding the element of curiosity in there, and how just shifting, how could this be a gift? And to be looking in ourselves. And sometimes it's hard to look within ourselves, so we do need to look outside ourselves. And so it can be a little of both, looking for the gifts in others, because that also helps to shine light on our own gifts.
Well, and also it's often easier to see gifts in others than it is to see them in ourselves, because most of us are most critical of ourselves, even if outwardly we may not appear that way. And if you practice seeing other people's gifts, then you're also going to be more practiced at looking at your own gifts and identifying them.
Yeah, that's great. That just feels like a good place to complete today. Is there anything else that you want to say, or that has popped in?
Well, just one thing that pops in is the concept of, if you're feeling like you're an outlier and you're on the fringe, there are gifts in that, and there's strength and courage that it takes to be on the fringe, even if you don't want to be there. But again, to practice the concept of viewing the qualities that you have that sort of cause you to feel like you're on the fringe or an outlier of some kind, viewing those characteristics differently, i.e. in terms of gifts, can be hugely beneficial. So practicing that and just seeing what comes out, because you may not believe us, and that's okay. Just try it out and see how it works for you.
Yes, Maureen, there's two things that come up. One is, actually, we don't really want you to, well, yes, we want you to believe us, but really what's more important is that you try it out for yourself and you believe in you.
Yeah.
And an exercise that I love doing is tracing my hand. So this is something that a person can do, is trace your hand and then put in some of the qualities. You can use that as a way to record your gifts, the qualities that actually make you you, and unique to,
Mhm.
yeah, so that's kind of fun. All right.
All
You
right. So we're going to end it here. And if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can go to maureenmayhew.com. And what about you, Mo?
You can get in contact with me through Caley-Verdonk.com.
All right. Until next time.
Take care.